Hello again. Now in the previous slides we have studied about the reports. So in this slides we will be studying about how to generate new slides or the new reports. So when we are creating any report in Salesforce, we are just providing the users with the data that is very much important to the required need of the particular customer or the user, and the relevant data is shown, not all the data is shown to them. So the Salesforce is the very first see technology or the value or the software that is in the CRM world that is helping you to get the data or the record of the data with the filtered values. They are very powerful and they can easily be editable. You can customize the reports of all the work that can be done in the organization of any type of records and any type of or any sizes of the report. We have the Salesforce report builder. The Salesforce report builder is helping the users to create the report, to edit the report, to add the filters, and then to define how many fields are there in a report to display the data information and the information. When you are using the Salesforce builder, you are not only editing the report, you have certain many reports that are pre-built with your Salesforce. You can easily edit those reports, you can customize those reports, and you can use the reports according to the user's requirement. Here we can easily I have told you that the reports are stored in the folders. So when I'm clicking on this reports, all folders will show the report that is generated with the help of name, which user has created it, the creation date, when was it modified, and the last modified date. All these things are visible in the Salesforce technology. Now we have different types of Salesforce report. We have very useful, the reports that we are using are very useful for the user's need. So we have tabular report, we have summarized report, we have matrix based reports, we have joint reports. So every report is based according to the different types of data and what a report is expected to be generated by the user. It is according to their requirements. So whenever I'm talking about the tabular report, in the tabular report you can easily access the data because it is the very simple form of the report. You can easily access the data in the form of an Excel sheet. It is very much similar to the Excel sheet. So if you want the data to be shown and you don't want the groups of the data, then you can represent your data in the tabular report format, and you don't have to show the totals or you don't have to show the calculation of any of the data that is present in the particular report because you are not generating any group of the data. This type of report is only beneficial when you are ready to transport or export any data to the different user or different organization. So you are providing the simplest information of the data and the information to the different users. So you use only tabular reports. Now when we are talking about the summarized report, so when you are grouping your data and then you are organizing the data, then automatically that grouping of data is turned into a summarized report. The summarized report shows that what are the total value, what are the total account detail, So numeric value can also be calculated with the help of your summarized data. You can also create the fields, the subgrouping of the fields. You can create a group inside a group. So this will help you in the summarized report formation. Then you have matrix report formation. Whenever I am talking about the summarized report, we are talking that summarized reports are organizing the data in the form of rows. But when I am talking about the matrix report, they are organizing the data or grouping the data with the help of rows as well as the columns. Or you can say with the help of the attributes and the tuples. Here in matrix report, we are performing certain calculations. You can check the total sum, you can check the maximum, the minimum values, you can check the average values. So all these data can be easily extracted from the matrix report. So matrix report is used when you have to perform certain calculations of the data that is desired by the user. Next is our joint reports. So when I'm talking about joint report, as the name suggests, we are joining two different types of reports. Why we want to join the reports? Because we have to compare the data of the reports that are interrelated to each other, or the data that is totally different to each other. So you want to compare the data to find if any similarity was there or the differences are there. You can also use a joint report which will show you the total number of opportunities, the total number of cases. All these things are shown with the help of joint reports. Now, how do we create a report? The dashboards can also be created. So, whenever you are opening the Salesforce app, you will get a suggestion box, and then in the suggestion box, you can include a report tab. And then a report tab is also there, and the dashboard tab is also there. So from here you can create a new report. You can edit an existing report, or the reports that you have created, you can run those reports. And similarly for the dashboards also, you can create the dashboard, you can edit the dashboard, and you can run the dashboards. These features of reports and dashboards are very useful when you want to provide the valuable insights into a particular business. When you want to give suggestions for your business enhancements, then these reports and dashboards are too much helpful. How do we create a tabular report? When we want to create a tabular report, we have to go to the number of suggestions, and then you will be checking the status of any one of the suggestion or each one of the suggestion. Now all the data that you want to show is represented in the tabular report in the ways of simple rows and columns, or you can say it is just like an Excel spreadsheet. You can use the value of column to summarize data, to sum the data, to average, but in tabular report, mostly the data is shown in the form of rows, so that the data can be easily transported, and we do not need to provide the detail of a particular data. Then when we have to select a suggestion box, there is an app launcher that is represented by this sign, and then from there we are selecting the report tab, and then we are creating a new report. While creating the new report, we also want to select the report types. So we have the search option available. In the search option, we are selecting the report type, and then we are entering the suggestion, whatever that is required by the user, or the suggestions which are already pre-existing. You are selecting any of the suggestions from there when you click the report type. Then you go back to the setup, and then you click on the object manager. Then the arrow will appear next to the suggestion, and then you click on the edit option for editing your report type. You may have certain properties related to that particular report. You can have different features, optional features. You can have allow report or disallow report. Then you can click on the save button, and then you will move back to create the report. Then these all things are done before creating a new report. After that, you are clicking on the start report, and then a report builder will be opened up. You see that the suggestion name that you have given in the suggestion box, or you have chosen from the list of suggestions, that is present on the report. You can preview that report that you have created. You can see the name of the suggestion record that you have created. Now from there, you are also adding the status in the columns, and you are selecting the status, whether your report is open report or your report is a closed report. Then you are also mentioning the number of days that will help you to operate in a column search, and that will help you to search the number of days that you are working on that particular report. You can also use the drag and drop feature to add the fields from the field pane that is already existing in the column section. Here you can see that the left side is representing the fields. When you click on the fields, you will get a number of fields available. You can select from there, and then here in the next pane, next tab, you are clicking on the columns. You can add the column according to your name, according to the user's name, or according to the user status, or according to the user's requirement. You can add column name, and you can customize the column name. Then you have your suggestion name also. So suggestion name, when you are moving into the next right side of this, you can see there are multiple suggestion names that are available, and you are not getting the whole number of the records. Only you are getting a limited number of records that is having the suggestion name soy milk, locker rooms, and almond milk. Then after that, when you have gotten this suggestion name, you will also check the status, whether they are in progress, whether it is a new suggestion, whether the suggestion was already in the consideration, and how many days these suggestions will be open. So all these things are visible. Then when you want that, you only want to view the suggestion that needs to be implemented. So while implementing any of the suggestion, you need to select the filters for that. For adding the filter, you need to search the add filter search button, and then you have to apply the status for which you want to apply the filter. Then you are selecting the status, and then you are writing down in filters, you are filtering with the help of the status. Then you can change the operator, the values from equal to, or change the values from less than equal to or greater than, the all the values that needs to be implemented, and you can directly click apply. Then you are clicking the save, and you are naming your report suggestion, that is how many suggestions are still open, and if the suggestions are open, what is the status of those particular open suggestions, whether they are in progress, whether they are in consideration, or whether they are now going to be executed or going to be closed. Now because all the reports are saved in the folder, so for accessing the report, you need to click on the select folder, and you need to make the selection of the reports that is public to all, means every user who is accessing the folder can easily access the public reports. So this report will be accessible to all the people, and every people have the access to change or to create a folder inside a folder or to create new reports, and then you can save and then run your report. These are the suggestions of an and the status of a open suggestions. The suggestion name is given, the status of that suggestion name is given, the number of days open, and all these things are being given with the help of open status of the open suggestions. Here on the top right corner you have the edit option, and you can redo, undo. You can also, the add chart option is yet not activated. You have the filter option available, you have the search option available, you have the edit option available. Now when you are creating a summarized report, so in summarize, from the summarized report you can also add the report chart. So the data you are entering in your report, the tabular, when you are giving a summarized report, then you can also add a chart, and you can copy that report and you can give the data in the form of rows and columns or in the rows to make a summarized report. From the report's result, we can view the suggestion, we can get the status of the open suggestions report, we can also click the drop down menu which will help you to edit and choose the save as option. Then you have different type of suggestions. You can select the suggestion by status or by opportunities, by leads that I already discussed in the previous slides. Now you can also select the public reports folder and you can click on the save. Here you can click the edit button. You can then provide the group of that particular report, and then you can again enter the status and select the status for each report that are grouped. Here the suggestion box shows you are grouping your values with the help of rows. Here it is mentioned group rows. So when I am forming a summarized report, we are adding a group into the rows, and then statuses can be checked from here. Because you have already selected the status, so it is already a customized. You can also delete this status by clicking on the cross button. Then you have your group columns, you can add group, then number of days, the suggestion name, all these things are being shown in the reports. How many new reports are there, that will be shown. How many reports are under consideration, the total number of values are also mentioned here. Then how many reports are in progress, and the subtotal number is also shown. So we have three different types of status of the reports: the suggestions that are new, under consideration, and in progress. Then we click on the save, and then we save and run, which leads to the report results. Now previously when we were creating the tabular report, there was the add chart report option, the button was deactivated. But when we are creating a summarized report, we are creating the data or adding the data with the help of this save, the options which we used by grouping into the columns or into the rows. So now you can add your chart to this report, and we have different chart properties. You want to show the chart in the form of line chart, in the form of pie chart, or in the form of donut chart. So all these options are there. So in the chart title there are different suggestion status, and you can also change the value of the by drop down list, and you can find the record count, the total number of records that are available in the suggestion status that you have applied in the filter. Now In the click drop down, you can use the edit button to edit the already existing chart or the suggestion status, and then you can use the save. Now when we are creating a dashboard in the Salesforce platform, what we are doing? So in dashboards, we already show the important information. Not all the information, only the important information are shown in the dashboards. So dashboard can also use to be represented by the user in the form of charts, in the form of tables, in the form of different metrics, or in the form of matrices, or in the row and column form. So when we want to create a dashboard, we are just moving to the dashboards tab and click on the new dashboard. When we type the dashboard, there is a suggestion dashboard that will get open, and you can create the default private dashboard folder. If you want to create the dashboard that is only visible to the owner, then you are creating a private dashboard. Otherwise, you will create a public dashboard. Most of the cases, by default, the dashboards are created as private because we are showing only some of the data. Not all the data are visible to the user. So we are selecting the private dashboard folder and then we create the dashboard. Then after that, there is a plus button available. You can add different components or the columns for representing the essential information of a particular record that is available in the dashboard. So when you want to search a report, you are looking for any suggestions either by the status and you are selecting it, and then you are clicking on the select option. Or if you want to represent any of the data by chart, you are moving into the value drop down and you are selecting the chart, and also you are selecting the count of the records, so that the count will be represented into the chart representation. You can also edit the title or the value of the record. Here I am adding a component. I have seen that I want to add these values that show total, combine small groups into others, then show values. I have not clicked on the show percentage. I have selected 3 different tabs and then I have organized those with the help of value descending. So the maximum values I've also given the numbers are that I want to show only 6 values that needs to be displayed. I am displaying these values by status. You can also give the title that suggestions by opportunities, suggestions by objects, suggestions by leads. So all these things you can easily select, and then you are previewing the component, and then I am adding the value or the chart. The record count is shown. It is showing how many statuses are in progress, how many are under consideration, and how many new records are being created, and then we click on the add button. Then after that it is done and then saved. The dashboard will appear like this. Now, while building a summarized report, you are just creating a simple data model, and then you are managing the interface of the suggestions. You can also customize the user experience. You can use the drag and drop editors for using the summary. Then you can add the business logic with the formula and the flow builder. You can create some reports, you can create the dashboards, you can monitor and analyze your business data with the help of this dashboard as well as the report. Now this page will show. Now I have opened the Salesforce page. So here in home, I have created reports, and now I am checking the quality performance by the chart that was available in it. Now I'm going to show you how to work with the reports. So firstly, we are moving on to our first slide, that for generating the reports. We will be clicking on the search for reports with the top left corner, that is the dotted square that is shown here. Now you can go into your folders from here. If you want to create report, you can also click on the new report. The option is there. You can also click on the new report. It will help us to take to the report type, and we can choose from there the report type. This will be the group or groups on data that you want to report for. Now we have three different options. When you are choosing the report type, we have three different options. One is the accounts, second is your contacts and accounts, and the third one is accounts with partners. These are the three depicting the three different values for each of the report type. When I'm talking only about the account, then only one group of data we can call, either as the admin data we can get from there. But when I'm talking about contacts and accounts, then two groups of data are combined, means the conjoined groups are being given. Likewise, you have both the datas for accounts and for the contacts also. So you have both set of data side by side that may be interrelated, or it may not be interrelated to each other. You will see the accounts when we are talking about accounts with partners now. Then you will get the filtered data that will contain both the values, that will contain accounts and with partners. You will see the accounts, but only if they have partners with them. So you can use the filters. You are using the join. So you are selecting the value only which has accounts with partners. Only values that are having only accounts and they are not having partners will not be selected. Now in next slide, we go to the opportunities and click on it. So I can see I only have two different opportunities. Now I want to have an update preview. Here on the top right side, you can see that update preview automatically is clicked. So I want to have update preview automatically checked, so that I can get the automatic updates that changes and the live changes are already made. But if it is not checked, so then you have to review it and then you have to run it. So I have clicked it and I have done the update preview automatically on, so that I get the updates as soon as there are any changes to your data. Now I will go to the filters. So here, when I am going to the filters, I can show the opportunities. So I can get the opportunities and it is showing me the opportunities with the close date. So from close date, and then I will select the range also. Why the range is selected? Because if I do not select the range, I'll get only limited amount of data. So I want to get more data. So we get more data by selecting the range. Now I will narrow down my data now. So why I want to narrow down the data? Because some of the fields are already duplicated or some of the fields are having empty value. Like here, in this example I'm seeing that owner name is empty. So we can easily delete that owner name. And you can also use the group by feature to group using the owner role. When likewise there is an example of a corporate sales team, there is an example of an education sales team, then you can group by the owner name or the owner role. So here I don't want the owner role, so I am cancelling it. Here there is a cross sign available, so in the owner role I am just crossing it so that I do not get the owner role. Now again, I do not need to see accounts. So why do I do not want any accounts name here? Because the account name is already showing the owner name as well. The opportunities are also showing the accounts details. So I have deleted the account name as well. Now likewise the fiscal period, there were certain fields that we do not require. So I have deleted that fields. Here I have deleted the fields. Now what I am doing is I will check the report type. This will show me the new customers, the existing customers, and then my values will be shown according to these type. So I can also use the group by with the help of using the type. So here in group by I am selecting, I am going to use the field type, because here in type I am getting new customers, I am getting the existing customers, and the replacement and the upgrade of that customers. Fine. Now the other things that may be helpful, that I am going to use the summarize value. If I want to get the summarized data, then I can easily get the summarized value here. So I have different account type. When I have grouped by this thing, I am getting the new customer, the existing customer, and I am getting the value for each existing customer, the subtotal, how many customers are existing customers and how many customers are new customers. So I am grouping by that type. So I am getting the existing customer and I am also getting the subtotal for those customers. So now I can also use to the account. I have selected the amount column. Now here the amount, the column is also referred as field in the Salesforce. So now I have selected the amount column and then I'm just clicking on it. Sorry. And I'm getting the certain fields that I'm properties that are mentioning in the amount section. So here I am clicking on this summarize value, and for each type I can see the subtotal and the grand total. When I have clicked on the summarize value, what I get? The sum, average, maximum and minimum. Whatever I want to get, I want in summarize data, I can just click on it. And then after that, what I am seeing, I am getting the total number of values and the subtotal, the existing customers, the new customer, and I am getting the summarized amount for each value. Now here I can also add a chart. There is a option in the top, in the middle of that tabs. I have a add chart column. From add chart column, we are able to visualize it. So we can also change the different chart. I have selected the chart and then a chart is being shown for the values that I have generated using the summarized values. Now I can also change the chart properties to see it in a different way. Likewise, here on the right side, I have seen that display as bar, display as column, display as line. You can also display a donut and the funnel and the scatter plot. So I have selected the donut. So it is showing as a donut chart. Now, now after this, I am going to toggle the chart. So after toggling the chart, I get these values. Now here I want to get rid of type field. I got rid of type field. After that, I am moving to the next slide, that is showing us the opportunities that are closed one and how many of them are in total. So here I have selected the column, the field stage. So in stage I have got closed one, the negotiatory. So I just want the value for the opportunities that are closed one. So in filters, I am going to write the column name in the filter, that is the stage column name. I go to the stage and in the values I click closed one. See, I have clicked closed one. Now I am filtering the stage with operator equals. See, one more thing in between I need to tell you, that when you are an editor, the above message will always be appearing in the tab top, that you are previewing only a limited number of records. So if you want a different, if you want to see all the records that you have created, then you need to export those records and then you have to generate report on it. You need to export it to the different system. So when you will be exporting it to the different system, you will get all the datas and then you can generate report on it. Fine. So now I have selected closed one. Then I'll be getting all the values that are closed, that is containing the fields of closed one. The stage has been selected as closed one. Now the closed one, the opportunity owner, the opportunity name, the stage, the amount, everything related to the closed one will be visible to you. Now we can also use to lock our screen. So when you are locking in your screen, then what happens? You are just clicking on the apply button. So if you are locking the fields, then anybody who do not have the access, because you are the owner, then nobody else can change the stage. So after this, I am going to the buckets. How do we create a bucket in our report? So what are buckets? Buckets are only the simplest tool. They are allowing us to create custom types. So I am clicking on the buckets to create custom type of grouping. See, here I have clicked on the amount and I want this column or this field, the amount field, to be made as the bucket. So clicking on this, I get the option bucket this column. Here I am getting bucket this column. So now I click on the bucket this column. So here I get the value and now I can name the bucket. So likewise, I want to name the bucket as caps. I have named the bucket as caps, and you on the left side you can see the field which is made as a bucket column is your amount field, and you have named it as caps. Now you have added three different ranges from low, medium and high in a bucket. So in the medium sorry, in the low range I am selecting less than or equal to 50,000, and then in the medium range I am selecting more than 50,000. Then in the high range, I am selecting more than, that is 100,000. So you can also deal with this bucket column as the small business. The values which are less than 50,000 can be shown as the low bucket value. That is, the small business can be represented with the help of low bucket. With the help of medium bucket, we can show the medium business, and with the help of high bucket, we can show the enterprise business. Now you can save these values by clicking on the save. Now we can see in the column all these things are created, and we will get a caps column at the last. We have, after clicking on it, we can get the low, medium and high. These values can be calculated, and now we are grouping all the values with the help of low, medium and high bucket that was created. So low contains 3 values, the medium contains 6 values, and the high contains 10 values. So subtotal is also shown, and the grouping is done according to the low, medium and high. So now when we are grouping by caps, we can easily show different buckets that is grouped by different values. Now I am going to save by clicking the save and going to give name for it. Fine. So I have clicked on the save report, and the name I have provided as the sample opportunity report. You can also write down the unique name or the nickname for that particular report so that it can be easily differentiated. And I can save it in our, I can also write the report description. It is not mandatory, but you can also write the report description. The folder which I have chosen is my private reports folder. So now clicking on it, all folders, I can easily click on the private reports or I can click on the public report. So whenever I want to save any report that I do not want to show it to the rest of the people that are accessing the report, so I make it a private report. And if I want certain fields to be shown to the users, I store it in the public reports. Now click and save it. It will get stored. After this, the whole view of the sample opportunity report is being shown. So I'm getting total records as 19 records, and the total amount is something 3 million and more than that. Now I can also perform the edit option. Here we have multiple options of edit Salesforce Classic, save as, save, subscribe, export data, delete data, or you can also add to dashboard. So that is all. Thank you. We will meet in the next week for the new sessions of your Apex language.